video is gonna be so chaotic. Hey guys, I am so sick, but I'm still gonna make this video for my 29th birthday. That's today. If you know me, wish me happy birthday. Okay, number one thing that I learned this year is that most things are not actually that serious. You don't have to worry so much about things. That's me telling myself that, because I'm constantly worrying about being perfect, especially in my grades and things like that. And honestly, it doesn't really matter. I know that your grades don't actually matter once you graduate, as long as you graduate. Things aren't that serious. This video that I make for my birthday every year, not that serious. Like, it's mostly for me because I get to watch it, you know, back. Like, life is not that serious. Another thing I learned is that even when the country like feels like it's falling apart, like it does right now, there are still good people doing good things, and I think that's really important for me and others to remember. One way that I learned that or saw that was like going to protests, and specifically I went to the No Kings protest twice, and it's just nice to see people who have like the same feelings about you, about how like families should be together and we should stop like deporting people and pulling them off the streets and things like that. Like, having that around felt really like, oh, okay, cool. It's not just evil bad people. And I think another way of seeing like the good in people is by volunteering and seeing like how you can help others. It's a good way to get out of your own head and like worrying about everything. You know what I mean? And also, I think that for me specifically, and I think maybe other people, like getting off of TikTok and social media has been really good for me. And it's not like in a way that I want to ignore what's going on in the world, but it's just that having that doom scroll or like focusing too much on it like isn't helpful either. So I think there's a balance, but that's something that I definitely would recommend. Another thing that I learned this year is that like age doesn't really matter. I think that in my early 20s, I was just like, oh my God, I'm so old, I'm 24, and now I'm like turning 29. I was like, okay, who cares? I think that when you're young, age feels really big, but when you get older, I don't think it matters at all. And honestly, would never wish to be 20 again or 19 again. I've learned so much in my life, and I'm really grateful for all the experiences that I've had. Another thing that I learned is like, you don't have to force things. Like, if something doesn't feel right, you don't have to be doing it. I mean, obviously we have assignments and we have things we have to do at work and whatever, but if something that you're like, oh, I really don't want to go to this event, you can just say, hey, I don't want to go to this event. And that also goes along with like creating boundaries is a really important part of like aging and like caring for yourself. And that's something that I've really been working on and learning a lot about this year. Okay, I got tired of holding it, so I set it up. Who cares? Once again, nothing matters. But like, not in like a negative way. Living with my girlfriend is one of the best things I've ever done. And it's partially just because like living with somebody you actually like is very important. So like, if that's an option for you, I definitely would recommend. But also, I just think that we have like a really good relationship, and it makes me so happy and I feel so loved and supported. And living together makes that even more obvious, if that makes sense. Also, going somewhere warm in the winter is a must. Last year, we went to both Arizona and Florida during the winter time, and it was really important for my mental health to get through the winter. Something else that I learned is that sobriety suits me. So on January 31st, I'll have been sober like from alcohol for 2 years, which I'm really proud of myself. I think that I never got to a point where it was like, I have a problem and I can't control myself, but I definitely don't think that I had a healthy relationship with alcohol ever in my life. And so I'm really proud of myself for being sober. And there's also a lot of cool like options now that you can have drinks like with people and still feel like you're a part of it, but you're not like drinking alcohol necessarily. I'd recommend the brand Hayo, which they have like a peach mango one that I really like. And also Hop Water kind of tastes like a very watered down beer. It kind of still has like hops in it like beer. So I also really like that. I would highly recommend giving it a try, especially if you are like even thinking a little bit about your relationship with alcohol. I think that it has at least drastically improved my life. I think that it can also improve other people's lives. But obviously do with your body what you want and whatever. Another thing is that I'm obsessed with basketball now. We watched the NBA finals this year, and I got like so into it because it kind of feels like watching like reality TV, because you play one team 7 times. So you kind of get to know the players, you get to like cheer for certain people. And so that was always so fun. My favorite podcast is We're Here to Help by Jake Johnson, the guy who played Nick in New Girl, and his friend who's a comedian. And they solve like silly problems. Another podcast I really love is Armchair Expert by Dax Shepard. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is my favorite Real Housewives franchise. If you like reality TV, it is very messy, but it is so fun to watch. However, watching too much Real Housewives, I have found, makes me very anxious because they're constantly fighting and everybody's miserable. So balance it out with fun shows or doing like real life things that's not watching TV, I guess. Also, sleeping in late is a luxury, but I also think that waking up early is also a luxury. By noon, I was like, oh my gosh, I've gotten so much done with my day. So it's just like, both are very lovely. Drop my phone 10,000 times. It's my last year of school, so I only have one semester left because I just had my last final today, so that's amazing. But I realized that every year my birthday falls on finals week, which is like good but bad, and especially like making this video, it doesn't make it easy. That's why this is chaotic, because I'm filming it the day before. So this is what we got. Loving what I got. So this is what we got. Can you tell I didn't take my Adderall today? Normally, like working and going to school hasn't been that terrible for me, but for some reason this semester it's really knocked me out. And I think probably because it's my senior year, so my classes might just be harder. I'm really proud of myself for making it through. Also, increasing your anxiety medication is okay and probably would have been very beneficial to me way earlier in the semester. I've been having like anxiety attacks throughout the whole semester, just like randomly, which doesn't make me feel good, obviously. And so I increased my Lexapro and I feel a lot better. So if you're going through a time of you're considering taking medication for a mental health disorder that you've never done it before, I recommend it. And if you're on a mental health medication and you need to increase it, there's nothing wrong with that. I think I had a little bit of I don't know, judgment or something, which is so weak, like doesn't make any sense, but that is the truth. And I just think it's so important to take care of your mental health, and who cares how much you're taking it? It literally doesn't mean anything about you or matter at all. And it's helped me a ton. So try it if you want. Not medical advice. Duh. I don't think anybody's watching this video being like, you know, I'm gonna get some medical advice from Lily. I also learned, which is like so obvious, but like your medication doesn't have to make you feel bad. Like, especially if there's other options, like for example, I'm talking about Adderall. I would take Adderall and I would feel like absolute garbage. And so eventually my therapist was like, hey, you know, you don't have to feel like that. I was like, oh my God, you're so right. And I decided to change my medication and I feel a lot better on it. So that's also a thing about mental health medication. There's most of the time not only one option. So try different things if what you're taking is not working for you. I'm sure I say this every year, but asking for what you need is the only way that you can get the things that you need. It is a skill that I am continuously relearning because I often try to do things myself because I am trying to be independent or whatever. And sometimes you need help, and that's okay. If you're looking for a coffee shop in Grand Rapids, my favorite is Midnight Express. I also like Orchard House. My best friend had a baby. Her name is Junie, and I love her with all my heart already. Can't believe that a girl that I've known since she was a baby now has a baby. That's like nuts. Something that I've known, and like the main thing that I've learned in therapy over many years is that you can't control people. You can't make them do certain things. You can't make them change. You can't make them be how you want them to be or do the things you want them to do. People will only change when they want to. Doing puzzles is one of my favorite pastimes. I'm just more of a grandma at heart than I ever knew when I was in my early 20s, when I, guess what? Didn't really know myself that well. I know I'm chaotic right now, and I know that this video is probably very obnoxious to watch, but I actually am very proud of myself for how far I've come since my early 20s. And I just like didn't know myself. I was constantly looking for like outside approval and validation and wanting people to like me, and I still feel those ways and those, like, I still want those things, but I don't let it like consume me as much, if that makes sense. And I feel just more confident in myself and who I am and like knowing my worth. And I think that is just something that can only come with age. So I don't know, 29, the last year of my 20s, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be whatever it is. And I'm just like proud of how far I've come and how far I have to go. And I know that I'm not supposed to end the video. I have one more thing left. Oh, I think I did do 29. No, 28. I don't know how many I do in these videos. Anyway, okay, whatever. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Remember, if you know me, wish me happy birthday. I gotta go to work now. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.